What's going on, you guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to properly land and drop in Skulltown within Apex Legends. Skulltown is one of the most popular, if not the most popular dropping spot within Apex Legends. I think it's finally time we talk about how to properly land in Skulltown in order to maximize your amount of kills, stay alive, as well as just come out on top with the best armor and loot in the game. Personally, Skulltown's my favorite drop spot only because it does have the most amount of people going there, as well as it is just a very good spot to drop because of the amount of loot it has and because of the different elevation levels that you can get onto when you drop in Skulltown. So starting it off here, the first thing I need to tell you guys, and the first tip I have for you guys in dropping Skulltown is honestly to land on top of the roofs. I don't see much people actually doing this, to be honest with you guys. I rarely ever see anyone doing this, but if you can do it and you drop onto the roofs in Skulltown, you're honestly going to have a much better chance and a way easier time surviving. Now, the reason I want you guys to drop onto the roofs at Skulltown is because you have the ability to use the high ground to get more enemies downed when you drop at Skulltown. I've had so many Skulltown gunfights that ended up in me easily getting the kill on the enemies because I was above them on these roofs. Like, it's so overpowered dropping on top of the roofs at Skulltown. A, because if you're Octane, you can use your launch pad to get on top of the rock and the skull, but as well as it's just the high ground is so overpowered, you can just get on top of these roofs and there's only 3 ways to get on top of there, and that's basically in the form of the stairs that are on either side of these buildings. There's 3 rooftops that you can actually jump on top of, and most of the time you can find yourself getting pretty good armor, I'd say, a pretty good gun, and hopefully a ranged gun, because then that'll allow you to obviously get in the gunfights a lot easier. I mean, if you have a shotgun, you can still shoot at people, but like, it's just a lot easier if you find yourself getting something like a wingman or an R99 or an R301 on top of these roofs, because then most of the time you're gonna win most of your gunfights if you just kind of stay on there. What I like to do is I like to mainly patrol the rooftops, and then honestly, if you see gunfights happening in the little villages on either side of Skulltown, what you can actually do is you can jump on top of those roofs and hopefully have the high ground on top of those enemies as well. Third partying is a huge thing in Skulltown, and honestly it just makes it a lot easier to survive in Skulltown, and just the more you can get high ground on enemies in Skulltown is just a lot easier. Most people drop towards the middle where they go underneath these buildings. I personally prefer going on top of the buildings, and even in the little villages and towns on the side it is a lot easier. As well as you can get into the body, or on top of the body, the skeleton of the one dinosaur, and then you can also get on top of the skull of the one dinosaur from the farthest roof towards the west. After you've cleared out most of the middle action in Skulltown, worked your way onto maybe the skeleton or maybe even the skull of the dinosaur, you want to try and move your way out into the smaller parts of Skulltown, being the 3 little sub villages on the side of it. You have one that leads over towards Market, you have the other one that is closer, to airbase, I guess you could say, and then you also have the other one that is closer to water treatment facility. All 3 of these, they're east, south, as well as northwest, I guess you could say, and most of the time they're pretty good places to loot. You can drop there if you really want to. Like, if you see people going on top of the roofs already in the middle of Skulltown, I would mainly recommend trying to go to these little small parts on the side of it, but honestly, if you can get on top of the roofs in the middle, it is very good. Some spots I would recommend rotating to after Skulltown would be Market, Thunderdome, as well as maybe even Airbase or Bunker, honestly. There are a couple little sub-cities, around Market that I'd recommend going to. You could also take the cave and go all the way over to the bridges area. That's a pretty good place to rotate, but honestly, I would mainly recommend heading over to Market or diagonally across in between Market and Airbase all the way over to Bunker, and then maybe even Cascade. Thunderdome is also a really good spot if you want to drop there, because then you can push Skulltown right after and hopefully clean up the remaining squads there. The main thing that you want to do is you don't really want to loot in Skulltown. You want to try and let the enemies loot, and you go in for the easy kill so that you can easily pick up their loot. Because instead of having to look at the ground half the time when you're dropping Skulltown, what you want to do is let the enemies pick up all the loot for you, kill them, and then you have a nice condensed stash of loot off to the side of your screen whenever you enter their death box. But yeah guys, Skulltown is is probably one of the most popular, if not the most popular drop spot within Apex Legends. If you can learn how to drop it properly, which is like I said, just rotating the high ground as well as letting the enemies loot for you, it'll be a piece of cake, alright? Third partying is so easy to do in Skulltown. It's just one of the best drop spots in Apex Legends history. And hopefully, after watching this video, you guys can win more gunfights in Skulltown. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, please feel free down below to leave a like as well as subscribe to this channel. It would really mean a lot to me as I am pushing for 3,000 subscribers now, and I'm really trying my hardest on YouTube now. Unfortunately, I couldn't upload yesterday. I have a really rough work schedule for this weekend. It kind of sucks, but whatever, guys. It was awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys hopefully on Monday for another video, as I don't have school as well. Have a great Easter, everyone, and yeah, peace out, guys.